The great Senate Hall of the Galactic Union buzzed with activity. Hundreds of different alien species sat in their assigned seats. Some floated in bubbles of special gas. Others sat in pools of liquid. Many just used normal chairs. The massive room was built to hold them all. Today, everyone was talking about one thing: humans. "Order, order in the chamber," shouted Head Senator Glocks. His 8 tentacles waved in the air, trying to calm the noisy crowd. Glocks belonged to the Mullary species, known for their patience. Today, that patience was being tested. When the noise finally died down, Glocks pointed to one of the raised platforms. The Senate recognizes Ambassador Nix of the Vedran Alliance. Nix stood up slowly. He was tall and thin with blue skin that seemed to shimmer under the lights. 4 yellow eyes blinked nervously as he looked around the room. "Honored members of the Senate," Nix began, his voice soft but clear thanks to the translation devices. "I come before you today with great concern. As you know, 3 cycles ago, we discovered a new species on a distant planet called Earth. Holographic images appeared above the center of the chamber, showing pictures of Earth and its people. These humans, as they call themselves, come from what we classify as a Class 12 death world." Gasps filled the chamber. Many senators had never even heard of a planet rated so dangerous. Nix continued, "Their world has extreme weather that can kill in minutes. It has oceans that can crush most life forms. It has areas of burning heat and freezing cold. And yet these humans not only survived there, they thrived." More images showed humans climbing mountains, diving in oceans, and walking through deserts. They can survive radiation levels that would kill most of us instantly. They can heal from injuries that would be fatal to others. They drink poison for enjoyment. Nix waved one of his long arms at an image of humans drinking alcohol at a party. "But most concerning is their history of violence," Nix said grimly. "The images changed to show human wars, weapons, and fighting. In just the last 500 years, they have fought thousands of wars among themselves. They have created weapons that can destroy entire cities, and now they have discovered faster than light travel and are expanding rapidly." Senator Krull, a reptilian being with red scales, interrupted. "Get to the point, Ambassador. What are you asking of this Senate?" Nix bowed slightly. "The Vedran Alliance formally requests that this Senate implement Containment Protocol Omega-7 for humanity. We propose establishing a quarantine zone around their solar system and limiting all contact with their species." The room erupted into chaos again. Some senators shouted in agreement. Others protested loudly. From the far side of the chamber, Ambassador Lorne of the Trillion Republic stood up without being recognized. His purple fur stood on end, showing his anger. "This is outrageous," Lorne shouted over the noise. "We cannot judge an entire species based on fear. The humans have shown great potential for good as well. Their art, their music, their capacity for kindness, their capacity for destruction," countered Nix. "They nearly destroyed their own planet multiple times. Imagine what they could do to us." Head Senator Glocks slammed his ceremonial staff on the floor, creating a booming sound that silenced everyone. "We will hear all sides of this debate," Glocks said firmly. "Ambassador Lorne will have his turn to speak, then others. But first, I must ask, is there a human representative present today?" The chamber fell silent as all eyes turned to a small door at the side of the hall. It slid open, and a single figure stepped through. The figure who entered the Senate chamber was not a human. Instead, Ambassador Lorne stepped forward to continue his defense. The purple-furred Trillion stood tall, his 4 arms positioned in the formal stance of respectful disagreement. "Honored senators," Lorne began, his deep voice carrying throughout the chamber, "before we make a decision that will affect the future of our entire union, we must consider all facts about humans, not just the scary ones." Lorne gestured to the holographic display. The images of human wars disappeared, replaced by scenes of human medical workers helping the sick, rescuers pulling people from disaster areas, and scientists working in laboratories. Humans evolved on a harsh world, yes, but that harshness created something special. They heal quickly because they must. They adapt to different environments because they had to survive in many types of places on their own world. Senator Drex of the Vex Confederacy let out a loud snort. Pretty words, Lorne. But the facts remain. Humans are dangerous. Their own history proves it. Lorne nodded calmly. Yes, they have fought many wars. But each time, they learned. They created organizations to prevent war. They built systems to help each other. When was the last time any of us reached out to help a competing nation on our homeworlds? The chamber grew quiet as many senators looked away, uncomfortable with the question. I have spent time with humans, Lorne continued. My embassy on Earth has operated for 2 Earth years now. In that time, I have seen incredible things. He touched a control on his wrist, and the display showed a small human child approaching a trillion diplomat with flowers. This human child had never seen an alien before. Was she afraid? No. She was curious. She asked questions. She wanted to learn. More images appeared. Humans and aliens working together on science projects, trading goods, sharing meals. But most importantly, Lorne said, his voice growing stronger, humans protect the weak. This is rare in the galaxy. The display changed to show footage from the Proxima colony disaster. A human ship had arrived first at the failing colony, where atmosphere generators were breaking down. Without proper equipment, the humans had used their own breathing devices to save alien children, putting themselves at risk. 12 humans died saving people they had never met, people who looked nothing like them. Lorne said quietly. They did not need to help. They chose to. Ambassador Nix stepped forward again. Isolated incidents. What about their military buildup? Their expansion plans? They have colonized 3 planets in just 20 years. Planets no one else wanted, Lorne countered. Harsh worlds that only they could live on comfortably. They haven't taken a single world that any other species claimed or could easily use. Head Senator Glox raised a tentacle. Ambassador Lorne makes fair points. However, we cannot ignore the potential danger. Perhaps there is a middle path. General Krall, the military representative of the fearsome Drak Empire, stood up. His black armor gleamed under the lights as he spoke. There is no middle path with predator species, Krall growled. I studied human military history. They think differently than we do. When threatened, they don't retreat. They fight harder. When cornered, they become more dangerous. Krall pressed a button, and the display showed human soldiers in battle. Look at how they protect each other, he said. Look at how they fight for their fallen comrades. A Drak warrior would understand this. We respect strength and loyalty. Humans have both. The Senate chamber grew tense as Krall, known for his aggressive stance on most issues, seemed to be defending humans. I do not fear humans, Krall continued. I respect them. And I warn this Senate, if you try to contain them, you will only make them angry. And an angry human is something none of us want to face. As murmurs spread through the chamber, the side door opened again. This time, a single human stepped through. All eyes in the Senate chamber turned to the human who had entered. He was tall by human standards, but average compared to many alien species present. His name was Tom, the first official human ambassador to the Galactic Union. Tom wore a simple blue uniform with Earth's planetary emblem, a circle showing continents surrounded by water. He walked with the easy confidence of someone used to Earth's stronger gravity, making his movements seem quick and powerful to the watching aliens. The human representative will wait until called upon, Head Senator Glox announced, his voice firm but not unkind. Tom nodded respectfully and took a seat in the observation area. The fact that he could breathe the standard atmosphere mix of the chamber without assistance made many senators uncomfortable. Most needed special breathing equipment or environmental suits when outside their own sections. Ambassador Plex of the Hovari Collective rose to speak next. The Hovari were an ancient species known for their caution and wisdom. Plex's transparent body glowed with soft blue light as she floated above her platform. "We have heard arguments for and against humans," Plex said, her voice melodic through the translators. "But we have not considered the most important question. What do humans want? Why have they joined our union?" Before anyone could answer, Ambassador Zarg of the Thorn Dominion jumped up. The insect-like alien's hard exoskeleton clicked as he moved. "They want what all predator species want: territory, resources, power." Zarg's voice was sharp with anger. "My people studied the transmissions from Earth before first contact. Their entertainment is filled with stories of conquering the stars." The holographic display changed to show clips from human science fiction movies, alien invasions, space battles, and interstellar wars. "Look at what they dream about," Zarg continued. "They imagine fighting and defeating advanced alien species. Even in their imagination, they'd prepare for war." The Senate chamber grew louder as more senators began talking at once. Some pointed at Tom, who remained calm in his seat. Ambassador Lorne tried to speak, but Zarg continued, his voice rising above the noise. "And they are physically dangerous. Look at their strength compared to most of us." The display changed to show humans performing athletic feats, lifting heavy weights, running at high speeds, fighting in various combat sports. "A single unarmed human could kill most species in this room with their bare hands," Zarg said. "They evolved as pursuit predators. They can chase prey until it drops from exhaustion. They can throw objects with deadly accuracy. Their endurance is unmatched." The room grew tense as more and more senators looked at Tom with new worry in their eyes. Tom remained still, his face showing no emotion. General Krall laughed suddenly, a sound that startled many in the chamber. "You fear one human. Then you are all weaker than I thought." "It's not one human we fear," Zarg replied. "It's billions of them. Their population grows faster than most species. They adapt quickly. They learn quickly. And they are moving into space quickly." Ambassador Nix stepped forward again. "The Veteran Alliance has evidence that humans are building warships disguised as exploration vessels. They claim to come in peace, but they prepare for war." At this accusation, Tom finally stood up, his face showing anger for the first time. Several security guards moved closer to him, energy weapons ready. Head Senator Glocks raised all 8 tentacles for silence. "These are serious claims, Ambassador Nix. Do you have proof?" "We have sensor readings from the edge of human space," Nix said. "Their ships have hidden weapon systems and military-grade shielding." The tension in the room reached a breaking point. Some senators were shouting now. Others were calling for the human to be removed for safety. Tom looked directly at Glocks, waiting for permission to speak. After a moment of hesitation, Glocks nodded. "The Senate recognizes Ambassador Tom of Earth," Glocks announced. "You may approach the speaking platform." The room fell into a tense silence as Tom walked to the center of the chamber. Tom walked to the center of the massive Senate chamber with steady steps. The artificial gravity was set slightly lighter than Earth's standard, making his movements appear graceful despite his solid build. He stopped at the speaking platform and looked around at the hundreds of alien faces watching him. "Thank you, Head Senator Glocks," Tom said, his voice clear and calm. "I would like to address the claims made by Ambassador Nix." Tom pressed a button on his wrist device. The large holographic display changed to show detailed schematics of Earth's ships. "These are the complete technical specifications of our exploration vessels," Tom said. "We're not hiding anything. Yes, our ships have defensive capabilities. We'd be foolish to travel through unknown space without protection." Tom zoomed in on particular sections of the ship designs. "But these aren't warships. The Stellar Explorer-class vessels have science labs that take up 40% of their interior space. The medical facilities can treat over 50 different species. The cultural exchange centers hold artifacts and art from every human nation." Ambassador Nix made a dismissive gesture. "Clever disguises for military vessels. Then come see them for yourselves," Tom replied simply. Earth extends an open invitation to any Senate inspection team. Visit our shipyards, tour our vessels, speak with our crews. A murmur of surprise ran through the chamber. Such transparency was unusual. Before Nix could respond, another figure moved to the speaking area. It was Dr. Mira, a respected scientist from the Aquari people. The water-dwelling alien moved in a special hovering water sphere that allowed her to navigate in air. "If I may speak," Mira said, her translators converting the underwater sounds to standard speech. "My research team has been working with humans for the past cycle." Head Senator Glocks nodded permission. "Humans are indeed physically strong compared to many of us," Mira continued, "but their true strength lies elsewhere. Their adaptability is remarkable." New images appeared on the display. Humans and Aquari scientists working together in a deep ocean research station. When they discovered our breathing difficulties on their world, they didn't just offer technology. They'd modified themselves. Mira gestured to images of humans with gill implants. These volunteers underwent surgery to better understand our experience. They literally changed their bodies to work with us. More images showed humans working with other species, adapting to different environments and situations. And their medical technology, Mira added. "They've helped cure 3 diseases that plagued my people for generations. Not because they needed to, but because they could. Because they saw suffering and wanted to stop it." Old Senator Krill, one of the most respected members of the Union, slowly rose from his seat. His ancient body was supported by a mechanical exoskeleton that helped him move. "I have lived for 700 cycles," Krill said, his voice raspy with age. "I have seen many species join our union. Some came seeking protection. Others came seeking profit. The humans seemed different." The chamber grew quiet as everyone listened to the wise elder. "They are physically stronger than most of us, yes. Their world made them tough. But strength does not equal threat." Krill's eyes, all 6 of them, turned to Tom. "I wonder, Ambassador, why did humans reach out to us? You were developing quickly on your own. You didn't need us." Tom smiled slightly. "That's simple, Senator Krill. We reached out because we were curious. Because we wanted to learn. Because we believed we'd be better together than apart." Tom touched his control again, and the display showed images from Earth. Children of different human races playing together, people helping each other after disasters, celebrations of diverse cultures. Humans aren't perfect. We've made terrible mistakes. We've fought wars. We've hurt each other, but we've learned that diversity makes us stronger. Different ideas, different cultures, different ways of thinking, all working together. Tom looked around the chamber. "We joined the Galactic Union for the same reason. Not to conquer, not to dominate, but to add our voice to yours. To learn from you, to share what we know, to become better than we are." As Tom finished speaking, a strange sound filled the chamber, the soft tapping of appendages against surfaces. It was the Senate equivalent of applause. The moment of approval didn't last long. Ambassador Zarg slammed his chitinous claw against his platform, creating a sharp crack that silenced the chamber. "Pretty words," Zarg hissed through his translator. "But words are easy. Humans are masters of deception, even among themselves. Their history shows this clearly." The holographic display shifted again, showing humans in conflict, protesters facing armed soldiers, political leaders making speeches while their actions contradicted their words. "They speak of peace while preparing for war," Zarg continued. "They talk of unity while dividing themselves. Why should we believe what they say to us when they so often lie to each other?" Several senators nodded in agreement. The mood in the chamber shifted again, tension replacing the brief moment of goodwill. Tom opened his mouth to respond, but before he could speak, the main doors of the Senate chamber burst open. Everyone turned to look as a new figure entered. It wasn't another diplomat or senator. It was a human woman dressed in a simple gray uniform with no markings or decorations. She was short for a human, with dark hair tied back tightly and a face marked by small scars. She walked with the unmistakable confidence of someone who had faced danger many times. 4 Senate security guards moved to block her path, their weapons drawn. She stopped and raised her empty hands to show she meant no harm. "Who dares interrupt these proceedings?" Head Senator Galactic demanded, his tentacles waving in agitation. Tom looked as surprised as everyone else. "Captain Ray," he said, recognizing the woman. "What are you doing here? You weren't scheduled to." "Sorry for the interruption, Ambassador," Captain Ray said, her voice calm but firm. "But there's an emergency situation that can't wait." The security guards looked to Glocks for instructions. The head senator hesitated, then nodded for them to let her approach. "This human female will be allowed to speak," Glocks announced. "But briefly, the Senate's business is important." Captain Ray walked to stand beside Tom. Up close, the senators could see that her uniform was dirty and torn in places. She looked like she had recently been in some kind of fight. "3 hours ago, my ship, the Earth vessel Horizon, was conducting a routine survey of the Krell Nebula." Ray began without preamble. "We detected a distress signal from the veteran science vessel Luminous." Ambassador Nix's eyes widened in surprise. "The Luminous? That ship was reported missing 2 weeks ago in an unexplored sector. It was attacked by pirates," Ray continued. "When we arrived, the pirate vessels were still there, stripping the ship for parts. The crew had been taken prisoner." The Senate chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. Pirates were a growing problem in the outer regions, but they rarely attacked official Union vessels. "What did you do?" Senator Krill asked, leaning forward with interest. "The Horizon is an exploration vessel with minimal weapons," Ray said. "We were outgunned 3-1. The pirates ordered us to leave or be destroyed." Ambassador Zarg made a sound that translated as a dismissive laugh. "So the mighty humans ran away." Captain Ray's face remained calm, but her eyes hardened. "No, Senator, we did not." She touched a control on her own wrist device, taking over the holographic display. It showed footage from what appeared to be a ship's external camera. The footage showed 3 larger ships surrounding a damaged veteran vessel. The Horizon, clearly smaller than the pirate ships, could be seen approaching. "We requested permission to send a rescue team to check for survivors," Ray narrated as the footage played. "The pirates refused and fired warning shots." The senators watched as energy blasts from the pirate vessels narrowly missed the human ship. "What happened next?" Glocks asked, all 8 eyes fixed on the display. Captain Ray's voice remained matter-of-fact. "We did what humans do when others are in danger. We helped." The footage continued, showing the seemingly outmatched human vessel moving with surprising speed and precision, executing maneuvers that seemed impossibly risky. "Sometimes," Ray said quietly as the Senate watched in stunned silence, "actions speak louder than words." The Senate chamber fell completely silent as all eyes focused on the holographic display. The footage showed the human ship Horizon performing maneuvers that seemed impossible for a vessel of its size. "We knew we couldn't outgun the pirates," Captain Ray explained as the footage played. "So we used what advantages we had: speed and surprise." The Horizon darted between the larger pirate ships, moving so close to their hulls that energy weapons couldn't target them effectively without risking damage to the pirate vessels themselves. "Reckless," Ambassador Nix exclaimed. "Completely reckless behavior." "Effective," corrected General Krall, watching with professional interest. "They turned their weakness into strength." The footage continued, showing the Horizon releasing what looked like small pods toward each pirate ship. "What are those devices?" Head Senator Glocks asked. "Boarding pods," Captain Ray answered simply, "each containing 5 crew members." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Boarding an enemy vessel was considered incredibly dangerous, a desperate tactic used only in the most extreme situations. "You sent your people directly into danger?" Senator Krill asked, his voice showing both concern and admiration. Ray nodded. "Volunteers only." Every single crew member volunteered. The footage shifted to show interior images from helmet cameras. Human crew members in light armor moved through the pirate ships with coordinated precision. They didn't shoot to kill, instead using stun weapons to disable the pirate crews. "Those pirates are from the Drex Collective," noted one senator. "They have natural armor and toxic blood. Physical combat with them is extremely dangerous for most species." "Yes," Ray agreed. "3 of my crew suffered injuries from acid burns, but they continued the mission." The footage showed the humans securing each pirate vessel within minutes. The last sequence revealed human medics treating injured veteran scientists and even wounded pirates with equal care. "We rescued 27 veteran scientists and took 63 pirates into custody," Ray concluded. "The veteran vessel was too damaged to save, but we recovered their research data, which contained significant scientific discoveries." She touched her control again, and the holographic display switched to a real-time feed showing the 3 captured pirate ships now in orbit around the Senate space station. The horizon, small by comparison, floated alongside them. "We brought the pirate vessels here to be dealt with according to Union law," Ray said. "The rescued veteran scientists are receiving medical care on our ship." Ambassador Nix seemed at a loss for words. Finally, he asked, "Why did you do this?" "The risk was unnecessary. You could have called for Union security forces. By the time they arrived, the pirates would have been gone, and the veteran crew likely dead," Ray replied. "We were there. We could help. So we did." She turned to face the entire Senate. "This is who humans are. Yes, we come from a world that taught us to fight. But it also taught us to protect. We don't run from danger, especially when others need help." Ray reached into a pocket and pulled out a small data crystal, which she placed on the speaker's platform. "This contains the complete record of our rescue operation, including all tactical decisions and crew communications. Full transparency, as Earth has promised." She stepped back and looked at Tom, who nodded appreciatively. "Before you vote on whether humans should be contained or embraced," Ray said to the assembled senators, "consider this. Would you prefer a galaxy where people turn away from those in need, or one where they step forward to help, even at risk to themselves?" The chamber remained quiet as her words sank in. Even Ambassador Zarg seemed thoughtful rather than hostile now. Unexpectedly, one of the veteran scientists appeared on the holographic display, his image transmitted from the horizon's medical bay. His blue skin was pale from injury, but his eyes were clear and determined. "Senators," the veteran scientist said weakly, "I am Chief Researcher Trull of the Luminous. I was ready to die when the pirates attacked us. We had lost hope." His voice grew stronger. "Then the humans came. They didn't know us. They had no obligation to help, but they fought for us anyway." Trell looked directly at Ambassador Nix. "If you fear humans because they are strong, remember this. Today, their strength saved veteran lives, including mine." The transmission ended, leaving the Senate chamber in profound silence. Head Senator Glocks called for a brief recess after the veteran scientist's message. The Senate chamber buzzed with excited conversations as the senators discussed what they had seen and heard. Many who had supported containment now seemed unsure. When the session resumed, Glocks raised all 8 tentacles for silence. "This Senate must make a decision about humanity's place in our union," Glocks announced. "We have heard arguments both for and against them. We have seen evidence of their capacity for violence and their willingness to help others." Ambassador Nix rose to speak once more. His earlier confidence had faded, but he remained determined. "The actions of one ship and crew, however brave, do not erase the concerns about humanity as a whole," Nix said. "We acknowledge their heroism in saving our veteran allies. But this does not change the facts about human biology, their warlike history, or the potential danger they represent." Tom stepped forward. "If I may, Head Senator." Glocks nodded permission. "Ambassador Nix is right about one thing," Tom said, surprising everyone. "One good deed doesn't erase history. Humans have fought countless wars. We've hurt each other and our planet. We've made terrible mistakes. Tom looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of different senators. But that's not the whole story, he continued. After each war, we built better peace. After each mistake, we learned. We're still learning. We don't ask you to ignore our capacity for violence. We ask you to see our capacity for growth. Captain Ray stood beside him, her presence a reminder of what humans could do when challenged. Humans are not perfect, Tom said. No species is. The question isn't whether we have flaws. It's what we do about them. Old Senator Krill slowly stood again, supported by his mechanical frame. I have a proposal, Krill said, his ancient voice carrying surprising strength. Instead of containment or unconditional acceptance, let us create a new protocol, the Human Integration Protocol. Murmurs spread through the chamber as Krill continued. This protocol would allow humans to join our community fully, but would include special monitoring of their expansion and military development. Not as punishment, but as precaution. The same precaution wise parents take with a child who is both gifted and energetic. Krill looked directly at Tom and Ray. It would also create a special response force of human and non-human crews to deal with emergencies throughout Union space, putting human abilities to use for the common good. Captain Ray nodded slowly, seeing the wisdom in the proposal. General Krall stood next. The Drak Empire supports this proposal. Strength should be respected and directed, not feared and contained. One by one, other influential senators rose to support the idea. Even Ambassador Zarg, though still wary, accepted the compromise. Only Ambassador Nix remained opposed. The Veteran Alliance cannot support this. The risk is too great. Suddenly, the chamber doors opened again. A group of veteran scientists entered, led by Chief Researcher Trell. Though still weak from his ordeal, he insisted on addressing the Senate in person. My own government does not speak for all veterans, Trell said, his voice tired but determined. Those of us who owe our lives to humans see them differently. They are dangerous, yes, but dangerous in the way a shield is dangerous to those who would harm the innocent. Trell walked slowly to stand beside Tom and Ray. I stand with humanity. Ambassador Nix looked shocked, then thoughtful. After a long moment, he said, Perhaps the Alliance has been too quick to judge. We will accept Senator Krill's proposal for now. Head Senator Glocks called for the official vote. The result appeared on the main display for all to see. 189 in favor, 12 against, 4 abstaining. The motion passes, Glocks announced. The Human Integration Protocol is hereby established. Earth and its colonies are welcomed as full members of the Galactic Union. The Senate erupted in the tapping sound of alien applause. Many senators approached Tom and Ray to introduce themselves properly. As the formal session ended, Tom turned to Captain Ray. That was quite an entrance you made. Perfect timing. Ray smiled slightly. Just doing my job, Ambassador. You know, Tom said quietly, some might think that whole rescue mission was conveniently timed to influence the Senate vote. Ray's expression remained neutral. Sometimes, Ambassador, the universe has good timing. Tom laughed. Indeed it does, Captain. Indeed it does. As they walked out of the chamber together, many eyes followed them. Some still wary, some curious, some admiring. But none could deny that the galaxy had changed today. Humans, the Deathworlders, the Predators, the Warriors, had proven they could also be protectors. And in a dangerous galaxy, perhaps that was exactly what was needed.